It was the greatest empire the world had ever seen. At its height, Britain ruled over a quarter of the world's population. Everywhere they went, the men and women who built the empire created a home away from home. From the wastes of Canada to the fertile highlands of Africa and the hill stations of India. They took with them what they saw as the spirit of Britain, and they spread the British way of doing things right across the globe. But as we made ourselves at home in strange and faraway lands, the question was always, how do we live with the people we rule? The answer would shape their countries, but it would also shape our own. The story starts here on the east coast of India in the early 1600s. The first British people arrived not as invaders, but as traders. Their attitude to the peoples they encountered would be very different from those who followed. These pioneers of empire actively embraced an Indian way of life. One of these early traders was Charles Stuart. He worked for the East India Company, which traded in cotton, silks, and spices. Most mornings, Stuart could be seen joining the locals as they bathed in Calcutta's Hooghly River. Charles Stuart is the sort of person who upends easy prejudices about the empire. The caricature is that it was all run by arrogant racists oppressing downtrodden natives. And like all caricatures, there is a degree of truth in that. But Charles Stuart belongs to an early generation of the British in India who were seduced by the place. For Charles Stuart, India was neither alien nor forbidding. It was intoxicating. Imagine coming across this if the most exotic thing you'd ever seen was the stained glass in your parish church window. Most people would have been absolutely intimidated, I think. In this unfamiliar world, Charles Stuart saw holiness order and civilization. So enchanted was he with India, he soon became known as Hindu Stuart. He encouraged his fellow Europeans to adopt Indian customs. He called on British women to abandon their dull dresses and wear colourful Indian saris, and on British men to grow what would become that trademark of empire, a luxuriant moustache, Indian style. Hello. Can I talk to you about your moustache? Yes? Good. Can I come in?
Yes.
Now, how long have you had it?
আমার গো বাচ্চা তো আজ থেকে 20 বছর আগে।
Do you think it makes you more manly?
এটা আমাদের বেড়া ছেলে এবং পুরুষ, এটা আমাদের পরিচয় বাঙালি মতে আর কি। তো সেই জন্য আমাদের এগুলো রাখতে হয় এবং আমাদের ভবিষ্যতে ছেলে পুলেরা আছেন এনারাও রাখে, সেই হিসাবে আমরা সেই মতে রাখি। একটু শখে কোপটা থাকলে আমাদেরও দেখতে ভালো লাগে সেই হিসাবে।
Do you think I'm a bit of a girl for not having a moustache?
না না, মহিলা বলে সেরকম আপনারা দেখতে না, আপনি পুরুষ পুরুষ।
That's a relief. The traders of the East India Company liked to mix business with pleasure. Relaxing with the locals was an everyday affair. To judge from their clothes, you often couldn't tell one from the other. This was the empire making up the rules about the appropriate relations between the races as it went along. In fact, there weren't really any rules at all, yet. Many British traders took Indian mistresses known as bibis. But there were more serious and lasting relationships too, leading to marriage and families. Many men of the East India Company left their possessions to Indian wives or children. The practice of interracial sex and interracial marriage extended to the very highest British officials in the land. This monument was erected originally to honour Sir David Ochterlony. One of the great spectacles of his time as British resident in Delhi was the sight of him taking the evening air, attended by his 13 Indian wives, each on her own elephant. Ochterlony liked nothing more than to repair to his residence for a quiet evening in with his harem. Dressed in full Indian costume, his shisha pipe at his side. The offspring of these mixed-race marriages became known as Anglo-Indians. Today, there are an estimated 150,000 of them in India. It's Christmas in Chennai, formerly known as Madras. It's a big occasion in the Anglo-Indian calendar. Anglo-Indians tend to marry within the community, so the term now means having some British blood, often several generations back. You're all Christians,
Yeah,
and you're all got some British blood somewhere.
yeah.
But, you know, you can't, I couldn't tell you from any other Indian.
But my name says it, and I know my roots. That is it.
Does it, what does it mean to you?
It means something nice because I feel proud to be an Anglo-Indian. That's it.
But you're a visible reminder
Yeah.
of the fact that this country was a colony.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people wouldn't like that.
But that's history. That's all. You look at, just take it as a part of history. And like every country has a history, this is our history.
It obviously has some big pull for you, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. One, my family. The roots are very deep, and I am proud to be who I am here. I have both worlds to enjoy. Enjoy the West as well as I enjoy the East.
You don't feel any resentment against these men who came over here and fathered children and then either died or disappeared?
We don't resent, no.
You sound actually as if you're rather proud of it.
Yeah, because we like to keep in touch.
You better be careful. Next you'll be asking to be colonized again. Everybody here seemed rather to celebrate the fusion of two cultures. But in Victorian Britain, these relationships were seen as subversive, even dangerous. The country was in the grip of a religious revival. The British were adopting a new, more puritanical Christianity, and they wanted the rest of the world to do likewise. That shift would soon be felt on the far fringes of empire. It wasn't long before Victorian values arrived in India. They were brought not only by missionaries, but by wives sent out from Britain who were arriving in ever-increasing numbers. They were known as Memsahibs. They hadn't the slightest interest in local culture. One Memsahib wrote of Indian holy men as horrible objects with their wildly rolling eyes, long tangled hair, and every bone visible in their wretched bodies. Another arrived in India and wrote home, "There's such a lot of everything." No wonder the Memsahibs ran for the hills. They had very different ideas about how to make themselves at home in India. The days of easygoing tolerance were now over. In their place came a culture war, a never-ending battle to maintain the British way of life in the face of foreign temptation. The British strongholds in this battle were the places they came to escape the summer heat. Hill stations like Ooty